let me tell you about an experience that I had recently at Fargo North High. I was asked to do 2 sessions on their career day to talk about a career in radio. I know I've learned I'm very smart. Next time I'm bringing Amy with me. And you and I can do the sessions
I'm
together.
excited.
I think
I would
be
love that.
smart because they asked some questions. I was like, my partner would actually be able to answer this for you. But because then they started asking about sports radio, and I thought to myself, oh, I might be the wrong person in this situation.
You're for sure the wrong person in the sports radio situation.
Do you want to know how to do a movie review on the radio? I can handle that. But I got a chance to meet Grace Schmidt. And Grace, you had emailed us already to talk about the Spartan Scroll, the newspaper at Fargo North High. Welcome to the studio.
Weird.
This is weird? It's weird. Also, full disclosure, apparently Grace's mom is a big fan of the show. And she's listening right now, of course, because now she can be your fan on the radio, too.
Yeah.
I love that. Hi, Grace's mom. Oh, we already said hi to your mom one day, I think,
she
right?
told me.
Yeah, it was exciting.
Is it a big topic of discussion at dinner?
I was in econ, and she texted me, and I was like, I can't have my phone out. But she's like, yeah, you're on the radio.
They're talking about you
They're
right now.
talking about you.
Let's talk about the Spartan Scroll a little bit.
Yes.
What's your role with the newspaper?
So I'm just a writer.
Okay.
I write about news right now. Last year, I wrote about lots of entertainment, like Taylor Swift, the royal family. I'm currently actually banned from writing about Taylor Swift.
Why?
I wrote too much, apparently.
There's
really,
no such thing.
It's funny because I think other journalists would disagree that people are talking about her as much now as they ever have been.
Yeah.
If you read about what has happened over the last year, there are journalists that are being hired to only cover Taylor Swift, to only cover Beyonce. Like they're making
Not since
a full
the era
salary.
of the Beatles have we seen something like
right,
this.
I love it. Okay, so
so
we might need to come and advocate for
Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
the ban to be lifted because there's a lot to talk about because we've got a Taylor Swift Super Bowl happening this year. So.
And what's going on at the Spartan Scroll right now?
So we're currently completely out of money.
Okay.
So we've never been funded. We get all our money through ads, and basically we lost all our connections through COVID. And so now we don't have that revenue from ads to publish or on digital. Well, so right now we're digital, but now we can't even print ads for the school.
And there's something about a printed paper, especially at a high school, that's nice because the publishing day, everyone walks around with it, right? Everyone. And then you're seeing those photos being published. I mean, what are people tacking up on to, grad boards? Just an iPad with a scrolling thing through, look at these articles and pictures from the year. Okay, so you've never been funded. It's through ad sales.
Yes.
And it's a unique situation because is journalism something you want to do?
Yes.
So
I'm going to go to MSUM for journalism.
that's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I love it.
We need a future where more people want to take journalism on as a career. And it's not easy. I mean, anyone in our KFGO newsroom will tell you this is a 24/7 job for people in journalism. So
we've also had plenty of moments in radio where we read stories from high school newspapers and college newspapers that then we turn into other news stories with our organization. And it's a great way to reach not only the people within your school, but people outside of your school, too. I mean, it's a way for you to sort of showcase what's going on at your school.
We had a young writer from North High who wrote a long article about O.J. Simpson.
Yeah, my teacher actually talked about that.
Honestly, when we had them on, it was, what do you know about O.J.? O.J. Simpson was big news for Amy and I, in our childhood. Why are people still talking? And so, again, just to prove Amy's point, sometimes we find stuff that you've written, and we bring it on to be part of our discussions here. So you're in a place now where funding is an issue. And who have you talked to about this?
So my teacher last year, she talked to people higher up, and nobody got back to her. We've tried to contact businesses. We've actually had people, they just put us on hold when we tell them we're trying to, place ads, and they just hang up on us. And so it's really hard for us to actually go out there and ask for ads while also trying to do our schoolwork And like my teacher, this is one of 5 classes that she does, so she can't put all her focus on this.
Yeah, ad sales is difficult.
Mhm.
I mean, anyone will tell you. And that's why during COVID, clearly, those relationships that were deep, so maybe you did have an advertiser all the time, things changed. Their business changed. Maybe even their business closed during COVID. And so trying to rebuild that from the ground up is extremely difficult. So I think the easiest way would be just for the school systems to fund it,
Mhm.
right? Wouldn't that be? And you've gone to a couple school board meetings.
Yeah, I was going to say, why isn't this funded like any other student organization? Or it just never has been? That's not been the norm?
So the school board, the school funds our programs that we use. So we use a website called Snowflow. That's how we put everything, like our stories. We can pitch it to our editors and stuff. They fund that, but they don't fund like printing because that is $700 for 1,000 copies. But we can like obviously push it down how many copies because not all of them are used. But I don't think we're not treated the same way as a football, for football or soccer. Because if I can go to a DC conference based on journalism, then I think we should be treated the same as, state being like football going to state.
I'm hearing you say that $700 gets you a run of 1,000, so less than $1 a paper is what you're able to create. And again, it's a big day. I mean, I don't know how it was for you, Amy, but I remember at Fargo South when the Sudhayan, which was the name of our paper, when it came out, everybody walked through the halls, everyone read it. And then when we had visiting guests, we always gave them a copy of our most recent Sudhayan. So if you had a speaker in a classroom, so that they could kind of get a feel and a look at what we do at that school.
Okay, so let's get back to the funding piece of it. Are the other high school, are you aware of like how Fargo South or Davies funds their school news? Is it the traditional way that you're saying that they have to sell advertising and that their software is supported by the school but nothing else?
I believe so.
Okay. I just wonder, like, can there be a change in that, and what would it take monetarily, and have you asked the principal, or would it have to go to a school board as to change like the funding structure so that this can be funded through the school system?
Well, so when I go to school board meetings, the only time they talk to me was when I said that there's some red tape in fundraising. And one of those was like, you can't do door-to-door solicitation. And so we technically couldn't go door-to-door to businesses and talk about ads. And that's the only thing they changed when I talked to them about that, because they didn't realize that would actually like affect journalism.
Sure.
And so that's the only thing they've talked to me about that.
How many papers do you ideally put out in a year?
Hopefully one every month. If like homecoming is later in the month, we may do like, I don't know, like late September mixed with October.
Depending on what you've got going on, I assume for that. Okay. So you're talking about maybe 9 papers, 9 editions throughout the year. Does your class do anything beyond the paper itself? I mean, are you they used to do special publications like a senior edition.
Yeah, we do a
like
senior
that.
edition.
Yeah.
And so you have to pay to be in that if you want to be featured. I think it's like $25 just to be featured.
Really?
Yeah. It's the parents who want to see their kids in it. So
I mean,
and it's only for the seniors too.
Right. I'm also going to just put this out there. I don't think that that's necessarily fair either. I think we live in a world where $25 for a family could be something that's difficult for them to come up with, especially if they see it as like, well, you're just going to be featured in this paper, but everyone should be featured in the paper, right?
But that means that the school district needs to step up and fund this like a student organization.
Sure.
That's already existing.
And so the sales aspect of it, I think, is the hardest part, right? Sure, it was self-sufficient for so long. Now it's not. If someone's listening right now and maybe they're a Fargo North grad and they want to maybe advertise in there and to do, maybe there's some person who was a journalism student at Fargo North and they want to make sure that this paper goes on. how would a business get a hold of you? Because that's the other thing too. It's not like they call the front desk and say like, listen, I'm from Joe's Paperworks and I want to advertise in the Spartan Scroll. Even that connection is hard because they can't reach out to you directly.
Yeah.
They'd have to reach out to your teacher, right? And so now just pile that on top of everything else the teachers are doing right now. Yeah. And not only that, but client relations is something that is important because you might have someone who says, oh, I want this ad to go in there, but they can't have the same ad for every single month. Are you designing the ads too?
Yes.
So you're really learning the full gamut of what it takes to make a newspaper a newspaper. I think we need to save this program, right? How much do they need for the year, and could they look for a major sponsorship of the program as a text at 35270? I mean, when I'm thinking about,
that's a good question.
$7,000 funds this.
$700 for 1 month. So I don't know math.
But $7,000 would essentially be 10 papers in a year, right? So
yeah,
that I feel is very palatable considering what I've seen other groups spend. You know, like they're talking about major sponsorship. $7,000 covers your entire year.
Yes,
entire year. Plus a little extra. Maybe gets you like a new camera lens or something along with that.
Her eyes got wide when you said that.
Right?
Like, yes, these are things we want to think about.
We do have 4 cameras, and my teacher was even considering selling them so we could have money for the newspaper.
Really?
Yeah.
No, we can't do that.
No, especially not when we're talking about education, right? If that's a choice that an actual print newspaper, like in the business world, has to make, that's a real world decision that they make. We shouldn't have to make a school newspaper consider selling part of the equipment that they have to come up with printing costs. That just doesn't seem right to me at all.
Yeah,
right?
It doesn't seem right to me either. Okay, so let's find her a major sponsorship.
Yeah.
Please?
Someone step up. Just step up. And really, we're
Can
looking
you start a GoFundMe, though? Real talk? Like, have you thought about that? Or
I have. We always talk about starting a GoFundMe for donuts because whenever we would print, we would have donuts. But then my teacher is like, we can't do this every month because I'm just a teacher. And so right now on our website, it's fnhscroll.org. We have a donation link.
Okay.
So currently we have $310, and some of those donations are from my mom.
Oh, there you go. Thanks,
that.
Grace's
okay.
mom.
So what was the website again?
fnhscroll.org.
So really, in all honesty, if you're listening to this right now and you go on there and you pledge $50, we don't need that many people to go on, and you could have your February issue be printed, no sweat. This is something we're going to keep track of for sure. So, Grace, would you do me a favor? Would you stay in touch with Amy and I and let us know what happens in this situation?
Okay, FNH
Scroll. So SCROLL.
Got it. .org. FNH.
Yes.
Like
Fargo
Frank.
Norris High School.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's a better way to put it.
Fargo North High.
I was gonna do like the phonetic alphabet on you. I can never remember it though when it's like put in front of me. Like, okay, FNH, quick. F would be Alpha Bravo Charlie Delta Echo Foxtrot.
Mm-hmm.
Foxtrot. And see, I would be really bad at doing the phonetic alphabet in like a very short order, which is the whole point of it.
Yeah, I always think of it as food. Frankfurter, Nutella, hot dog. That's just the way my brain works. Grace Schmidt from Fargo North High, thank you so much. No, you're not skipping class for this, are you?
No.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Fantastic. That's now public record.
My teacher probably would let me.
Probably, right?
Yeah, I like it. It's a good life experience.
Listen, apply. We KFGO News. It could be the start. So you could do some part-time work for us while you're in college.
I kind of actually like this because it's less scary than doing a presentation in English class.
There you go. Can you tell everybody that comes on that it's less scary than doing a school presentation?
That's
because
how I
not
should have
everyone
started
thinks
career day. It's less scary than an English class presentation.
There you go.
Boom.
Love it.
Grace, thank you
Thanks,
so
Grace.
much.
You're welcome.
Say hi to your mom.